Good morning, welcome to iCare, iMove. You've had a week off, so I know that some of you haven't been doing your exercises. So let's make up for it today. So naughty, naughty. You must do your exercises in the week to make up for your 2 hours or 180 minutes if you can, 150 I think. Anyway, so we're going to go through similar to Move More, but not quite because we're in a break. So we'll be starting our next Move More course very soon, hopefully in May. I know we're nearly in May, but towards the end of May. So if you know of anybody who needs to come along, or you think might fall, or is at risk of falling, or has fallen, send them our way. Get them to call us on that number there even, or email us. So let's get going, shall we? As usual, if you've got any niggles or injuries or sore bits, do what you can. If it's painful, then just take it down a bit. You can always stop and rest. You can always stop and sit in your chair. If you're in your chair today, you can still do some big movements, so I'll work through them with you. But we're going to start in standing. So let's get up and pump your feet at the top to stop you feeling dizzy. And we're going to go round to the back of your chair, however you need to. If you've got a chair, you might not need a chair. You might have a work surface or a sideboard or just a wall to support you. So try not to cling on for dear life. This is just in case you need to just rest, okay? So we're going to start by, as always, a wonderful move of just lifting your heels one at a time, swinging your arms as well into our circulation boost. So getting your heart rate lifted a little bit higher, working your lungs and getting all that circulation up to your brain and your heart and around your body. So relax your shoulders and just swing those arms and breathe. So we don't ever want you to hold your breath in class. And I know you do it because then you go, so I know, okay. So we're going to start by tapping out, tap to the side. Little tap, keep your shoulders relaxed. If you're sitting, same movement. So just tapping one foot out and then the other. It's not a big movement, but what we're doing is we're working through the hip joints. Okay, just opening the fronts of the hips, the sides, all the way around. And you can go at your own speed. You don't have to keep up with me, and that goes for right the way through the class. So a little tap and a tap. Lovely. Okay, hold it there. Back to your march. Just a small lift of the heels. So we don't want you to be out of breath at this point. We're just warming the body up, okay? Okay, keep those feet nice and still. We're going to shrug those shoulders, lift the shoulders and lower. So it's a smooth movement. It's a lower and a lift. Good morning, Caroline and David. And who else has sneaked in? Not sneaked in. Colette. And who's that? Oh, that's everybody, I think. Peter. Lovely. So lift and lower. Really shrug right up. Oh, and then push those hands down now. Push down, shrug up. This time I want you to send the hands down the back of the legs and send those shoulder blades here. Send them down too. Send them down. And then lift. So really working those joints right into the shoulder blades, the scapula, and this will open out your chest, open out the shoulders, and just give you some length through the neck. Lovely. Then we're going to take one hand forwards and one hand back. So we're going to lean forwards and slide the hands. So I've got one hand sliding down the front of my thigh and one hand sliding up and down the back of my other thigh. And in seated, it might be down your knee and just down the back. That's it. So just working the spine, moving the spine gently, but in a different way. That's it. And then we're going to change legs and sides. The hand comes up the other side. Soften through the knees. If it's giving you backache, soften the knees a bit more. So that's it. Lovely, lovely. Good. Okay, march those heels for me. Just gently, not too fast. Owen, could we have some lovely little plinky plonky, please? I was wondering why it felt a bit odd. We don't have any music. Oh, Lovely, thank you. That's it. Okay, feet wide, wider than hips now. Similar but different. Hands down the side of the legs, sliding up the waist. This time we push down, pull up. So feel a stretch across the diagonal line of your body from that elbow down to the fingertips. Push and pull. Push and pull. Trying to keep the body in line. So I'm not leaning forwards or back, just side to side, and it might restrict you. If you've got spine problems, just make it smaller. Okay, you might not be able to go all the way. Just a little elbow lift and a little press down is fine. And we need to just be careful. Sometimes if anybody's got osteoporosis, we need to be careful with spine bends. So, lovely. And then back to a march. Lovely. So, do we make up for last week when you didn't do your homework, or do we just go at the regular speed? I'm not sure. Okay. This time, take your feet nice and wide. Roll those shoulders a little bit forwards, up to the ears, all the way back. Send those hands down again. So slightly different than the shoulder lift. It's the shoulder roll, working right the way through the shoulder joint. And if you haven't done any exercise, this might feel quite nice. Well, it feels quite nice anyway, I think, because you get really lovely opening. And so many people have shoulder tightness, shoulder injuries, and it means that we don't work our shoulders properly, and then that makes it worse again. So we need to move them. Okay, then we're going to move one shoulder and then the other, and take your weight from side to side if you can. So as you send that shoulder back, take your weight back onto the other side, onto one leg. So we're slowing it right down. We're lifting the elbow, making it into a bigger move. That's it. Seated, it's exactly the same, just your feet are wider. That's it. Good. And then back to your march. So we've done shoulders. We've done hips. We're going to do ankles, my favourite one. So heel, toe. So the outside leg, if you're sitting, either leg, don't mind. So push the heel down, squeeze your toes up, push the toe down, push that foot forwards. So you get a big stretch in the front of the foot and into the back of the ankle. So working right through that ankle joint. And if you do have stiff ankles, or you have trouble walking early on in the mornings or throughout the day, just do this a few times in the morning. If you're sitting, you can circle, you can do it in standing. One way and then the other, and then we're going to swap sides. So outside leg normally, or just change legs. So toe, heel, and we're trying to get the foot on the same spot, which stops you from kind of doing that cheating move. It's this big move, squeeze that foot forwards, squeeze the toes up. You should feel it in your calf a little bit, as we really stretch and mobilize the ankle joint. And then we're going to take the foot out a little bit, make a circle with the foot, one way, and then back the other way. Oh, lovely. And march it out. Excellent. And then just hips to come back up to. So I'm going to hold my chair, I'm going to bend my knees, and then I'm going to send my hips to one side, send them forwards to me, to the other side and center, and then reverse. So you're sending your hips in a semicircle to me, not to the back. So it's like to the side, semicircle, to the side. I'll show you side on. So side, semicircle forwards to the side, and here, side. Where am I going? Can't work out which comes side, forwards, center, side, forwards, center, and march. Lovely. So that's your hips. and your lower back mobilized. Okay, so we're going to walk. We're going to just walk around. I'm going to walk around that little thing on the floor. To me, when we get here, we're going to tap out. Tap to the side. Tap to the side. If you can do it with, if you want to walk on the spot, Jim, or anybody, if you're not happy without any support, walk on the spot or within the confines of your chair. So walking forwards and then to the side, tap or step, and then we're going to walk backwards. Being careful of what's around you, like the lights. Have I knocked them off? Keep going. That's better. So we're going to tap, but just watch your surroundings. So we know in falls prevention, we must make sure we don't have any trip hazards, lights behind you, or rugs with the ends curling up. You know those ones? Make sure you've got a light on at night, maybe just a little plug-in light if you struggle to see in the dark. If you need to get up to go to the loo, for instance. It's all little tips and tricks to make sure you're safe at home. That's it. Keep going. Just in your own time, on the spot, or walking around your room. Tap or step. Good. And walk backwards. Tap. Lovely. And we're going to add on in a bit. And we're going to change it up. And we're going to come into some side steps. So we're going to step together. Same in seated. You can either tap out one foot or tap together. So whichever you prefer. When you're sitting the whole class, it's quite a lot on your hips. So I don't mind only those sitting having a rest or moving their hands. So maybe you want to kind of do an arm movement instead. If you're sitting, you can do it in standing as well. You can always add in a little bicep curl. So squeezing those hands as if you've got a weight. Challenges your brain a little bit if you've not got, if it's difficult for you to multitask, shall I say? Beryl's laughing. My husband can't multitask. I was going to say it's a man thing, but then I wouldn't be so sexist. So you can do one arm and the other arm. You can do both arms. You can do one arm and other arm. You can go at your own speed. You can make it a rhythm. 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. Then you could go opposite arms. How's that? You could march on the spot if this is too much. So opposite arms, one up, one down. It's all good for your brain. Okay. And keep those feet still. Just lift the heels. You've got support. We're going to do a little arm movement. So we're going hips, shoulders, head and out. Hips, shoulders, head and out. Hips, shoulders, head and out. Hips, shoulders, head. We're going to reverse. So head, hips. Oh, I don't know. Let's start again. Hips, shoulders, head, out. Hips, I've got to work it out. Shoulders, head and out. Hips, shoulders, head and out. Hips, shoulders. Let's try and reverse it. So out, head, shoulders, hips. Out, head, shoulders. I've got to really think. Out, head, shoulders, hips, out, head, shoulders, hips. It's a bit like that one Helen was doing, isn't it? Can do that one. Have a rest. Okay, I'm just going to march my feet. So we're going to keep with the march and we're going to turn. So it looks like we're going to do march, 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 and then turn in as many steps as you need to turn 90 degrees. And then you're going to turn back to me. So you've always got me kind of within your sight. So I don't want you facing away from me. Then we're going to turn to the other side. In seated, I'm wearing you out, Rob, already. I want you to just turn your head as you march. So you're looking in different directions as you're marching. So it's all to do with balance and vestibular work. Taking your eye gaze with you. If you feel dizzy, slow it right down. Because even if you feel dizzy and you're out, you've got to walk, haven't you? And you've got to turn, change directions. We just might need to do it a bit slower. Keep going. Okay, and march it out. Okay. We're going to step over your cat. Step, step, lift and lift. So in seated, it's exactly the same, but you might want to, in seated, if your hips are sore from doing too many legs, instead of doing this here, you could do one, or you could just lean and tap. It's slightly easier if you're leaning back and sitting on the front third of your chair. So do what you need to do. Otherwise, we're lifting the first leg and lifting the second leg. Okay, don't kick that cat on the way over. So lift, step, lift together. So you're lifting your knees, you're picking those knees up and you're planting your foot down. Toe, heel, down. Lifting heel, toe. Okay, now I can hear my feet because we're on a, I think it's wooden floor. You shouldn't be able to hear your feet going down. One of our lovely guys at Carn and Downs, you could hear him go like that because he has a flat foot and he's not planting his feet properly. We need to work through your ankle, your foot placements, because if you can't pick up your feet properly, that's when you trip. Okay, so we're going to work through a little movement. So I want you to hold it there. And this is a movement that is going to help you to pick those feet up. So we're just going to stand feet hip width apart and we can hold on to something. It's quite important, this one, or have a wall behind you. And we're just going to lift the toes and lower down. Now, some people, if you've had an injury or surgery, or you have certain diseases, give you peripheral neuropathy. What does that mean? It means you can't feel your toes or your fingers. So it's hard to pick your feet up. So to lift your toes, do exactly the same in seated. Take your feet forwards and lift those toes. What it means is when you're walking and you can't pick your feet up, you drag that foot. And that's when you can fall. So toes up, put the whole foot down. Toes up, whole foot down. Toes up, and you might feel it in your shins later, tomorrow, sorry. It might remind you to do your homework though. Am I nagging enough? I'm just going to nag you. I'm going to email you every day and go, homework. Okay, opposite, heel lift. So up onto the toes, lifting the heels and lower down gently. Lift those heels, come up onto the toes. Now, what's the rule here? What's the law? Put that weight through your big toe and your second toe, and you immediately stabilize that ankle. You're pushing the weight down the center of your body, and it stops your ankles kind of wobbling to and fro. Oh, it just reminded me. Did you see that video? My son showed me a video of a footballer yesterday. Oh no, it was a wrestler. Oh my word, he went to kick somebody in this fight, broke his leg. Oh my word, it was, and I love things like that. With my nursing background, oh, it was awful. His poor little leg went one way, his foot went the other, and his knee went the other way. It was disgusting. Anyway, I'm sure you wanted to know that. So coming up and down, and then we're going to go back to toe lift. So feet hip width, lift those toes, drop them down, lift the toes, drop them down. And if you can't do this, if you do have a weak foot, if you do have a weak lift, you can always take your band and give it a little helping hand if you were sitting. So you could pull those feet up and try and keep it there. That's another way to do it, okay? And I know some of you have damaged your ankles, one person in particular. So this is, any ankle strengthening work is good for you, Eric. So, so keep practicing and march it out. Lovely. So lots of different movements here. Okay, so just march in, march in. Okay, so let's come into some knee bends. So what does it look like? Feet are hip width. And the movement is like a little concertina. It's like, I can't do it here. It's like you're going downwards. You're not going forwards. You're going down. So you bend your knees forwards, you push your bottom back. Keep your head in line. So my eye gaze is kind of just, I'm looking down my nose. And as I'm dropping down, my eye gaze stays there. So I'm not moving my head. I'm not sticking my chin out. And I'm going to watch you. So you don't need to go low either. A small move. So if you're sitting, you can do your bunny hop or that lovely lean, Rob. Whatever you fancy doing. Jim, just a little knee bend for you. Eric, just a little bunny hop, a little lean forwards and a push up. Lovely, Jenny. Good. Brilliant, Annie and Clifford. Lovely. Cliff, great. Colette, really good. Who else can I see? Beryl's going dipping. Lovely. Good, Chris. Don't stay down there too long. Who else? Caroline, you're pretty good at these. David, lovely. I can see you dipping and rising. Shirley, lovely. Good. So important to keep that spine nice and long. Judy and Peter, fabulous. So I know you've got painful knees, so trying to bend those knees a little bit. Sue, I can't see you this morning. What a shame. And Claire, do what you can. I can't quite see you. Well, I can't see you, but I know you'll be working. So, right, and have a rest. So these are hard. These are working those big muscles in your thighs, in your quads. So I need you to just rest and breathe, just for a second. So it's really important to get this correct. Otherwise, you're going to hurt yourselves. And a squat comes in, so a knee bend is a squat really. And that comes into your standing, your sitting. If we can get you to squat properly, we can get you to stand up easier and to sit down easier on toilets and your sofas and your chairs. So we're going to add in. So just watch first. We're going to knee bend just a little bit. We're going to come up, reach. I'm not on my tiptoes, okay? I'm just bending my knees and I'm reaching with one arm and then the other. And you can see that I'm reaching up and forwards, okay? So I'm reaching as if I was getting something out of the cupboard. Reaching, so bending the knees and reaching. If it's too much, if you've done enough knee bends, have a rest. Otherwise, keep going. If you don't want to do the knee bends, just a reach. If you've done enough knee bends. If a reach is too much, march your heels. There's always something to do. Okay, and then if you're up to it, I'm going to add in my toes. So I'm going to come up onto my toes and reach. So it's a bit of a whole body exercise. It's a bit of strength here as you bend, do the knee bend. It's transition and then it's balance and a reach. And then it's also a little bit of vestibular because you're altering where you are. You're looking in different places. Your balance is different. and wide. And we're going to do that little eye gaze one. And this is for your balance and vestibular work as well. So you're going to look to me. So you're going to look forwards at the camera and you're just going to turn your head. But you're going to keep looking at me. So you don't take your eyes off me. But you've turned your head. And then you turn your head to me. You're still looking at me. And then you're going to turn your head the other way. So you've got your eyes on me the whole time. Think about your posture. And then turn your head. So you're just tilting your head to the front and to the right. So working the eyes, but actually your brain's thinking, what are you doing? You can add a little jig if you want, or you can stand still. It's quite a lot for some people. Okay, then hold it there. This time, you're going to keep your head still. So you're going to keep your head facing me and you're going to turn your eyes to one way and to the front. I'm going to march and then turn your eyes to the other side, keeping your head really still. Turn your eyes one way, so you're looking one way and to me, and then you're looking the other way. Does it feel a bit weird to me? Turn your eyes. Hurts your eyes if you go too far. Okay, and then we're going to do the whole lot. So we're going to take the eyes and the head to one side and to me, to the other side, to me. Lovely. Okay, can we do it the other way? So we're going to keep our head still. We're going to drop our eye gaze down to the floor. Look at me, eye gaze to the roof, to the ceiling. To me, down to the floor, and to me. Then up to the ceiling, to me, down to the floor. Okay, this time we're going to keep looking at me. We're going to drop the head down, chin to chest, keep looking at me, lift the chin. And then keep looking at me, lift the chin up to the ceiling and to me. Drop the chin, keep looking at me. Don't take your eyes off. Neutral and then lift. It's quite hard. To me, drop down. I'm too nosy, I want to look everywhere. To me, lift. To me, down. And then march it out. Lovely, good. Okay, we're going to add in some lunges. They're so good for you. In seated, it's a step forwards and lean. In standing, we start with a wide base of support. We step out, bend, lean, step back in. You can go alternate sides, or you can just work one side if you're holding onto a chair, for instance, using that outside leg. So step, lean, push back. Step, lean, push back. Lovely. Step. So add in some weight through those legs, building up those muscles, seeing as you've had a week off. Push right off that foot. Step and lean. Keeping that chest lifted, so I'm not rounding, I'm looking, I'm strong, I've got a strong step. I'm going to change legs. So you can either turn round onto the other side of the chair or just hold on with the other hand. Or if you've got a chair in front of you, you could just step to the outside of the chair. So it's a land on the heel, push back, heel toe or heel whole of the foot, step, push back. So if you're sitting, this is good because you're leaning, adding weight, so you still get the feeling. And if you fancied it, you could do another bunny hop, but you don't have to. That's it. So step, step. Good. Okay, and rest. Coming into a little bit more balance. So I'm mixing it up a bit today. So we're going to come into tandem walk. So either have a wall or a chair or a work surface, and we're going to come into our feet, our footwork. So if you're quite confident, it looks like one foot in front of the other and we walk forward just enough so that you've got hold of something, or you can grab, you can lean on something, okay? If that's too much, I don't know if we can see feet, If that's too much, feet really close together. Okay, so together like little pin steps, but your instep comes to your toe, the base of your big toe. So you're not quite in tiptoe, in tandem, you're just in a narrow walk. So we walk forwards. In seated, it's the same, but you can only take a couple of steps. If you're pretty confident, it's this move, heel to toe, lifting that heel. If you need to take a step, if you feel wobbly at all, if I was wobbling, I want you to step out. Take that compensatory step back to steady yourself. Okay, try not to grab something. You could be in the middle of a street and wobble. I want you to know and be confident that you can always step out. And we'll work on that in a minute. Have I got room to go one more? Yes. Okay, so keep going. Breathe, relax the shoulders. And you can do this in the kitchen. So when I say homework, you can do this in the kitchen when you're cooking. You can do it in the kitchen when you're waiting for the kettle to boil. I don't know about you, but I have quite a lot of cups of tea in the afternoon. So you could do this waiting for the kettle to boil, or your dinner to cook, or just because you've got to do your homework. Okay, and hold it there. So keeping with the feet, we're going to work through our clock face. So it looks like this. I'm going to 1 o'clock. No, I'm not, it's 12 o'clock. Then I'm going to 3 o'clock. And then I'm going to 6 o'clock, so it's a step back. I'm going to 3 o'clock. And I'm going back to 12 o'clock. So I always come back to that center point, but I want you to make sure that your feet are separate when you come back to center. Okay, so you've always got a stable base of support, and I know I keep going on about it, but it means then that you're always standing steady. Okay, so in your own time, you don't have to do 12, 3 and 6. You could do 5. You could do 2. You could go to 4. You all right, Eric? You could go back to 12. So different times, altering your sense of balance. Maybe going from 12 to 6. Maybe going from 3 to 12. Maybe going from 3 to 6. How does that feel? Going 2 to 4. Ooh, get you. 12 to 3. Or 3 to 4. Okay, we're going to change legs. Now I've got to work out the other way. So I'm going 12 to 9. It might be different for you. 12, 9, 6. Okay, back to 9 and back to 12. So it might feel different on one side. That's fine. We might just need to work a bit more on one side. And if you've got a weakness on one side, even more reason to work on that side. And you know, a lot of things in our body, our brain works the opposite side. So your left side of your brain works on some of the right sides. So it's really important to do both sides. And patterns again, so working through patterns of movements, your brain gets used to them. And if you were then to wobble, your brain would know that you need to recover by making a step. Okay, we're going to change it up. I'm going to go to 7 and 11. I'm going to go to 9 and I'm going to go to 8. I'm going to go to 10 and 11. Oh, bye Cliff. Lovely to see you. Take care. See you Friday. So thinking about where you're going to go on a clock face is using your brain as well, because I'm having to think. I'm going back to 6 and 7. And then I'm going to 9 and 8. Ooh, I'm going to go to 11 and 12 and march it out. Lovely. Is everybody okay? Good, so just a march. Okay, and then I think we'll do some seated work. So have a sit down, grab a drink, and let's sit down and do some work in seated. Make sure you sit down properly, feel the chair. And lower down slowly. Lovely. So, so we're going to hip walk to the front third of your chair. And then we're going to hip walk to the back of your chair. Just for lols. It's good for you, this one. So feet nice and wide. And I want to see your whole body swaying side to side as you lift and shift your bottom in the chair. So you end up at the very back of the chair and you end up at the front third of the chair. So lift. And it might mean then you can take your leg off, push that foot off, and use that momentum to shift your weight forwards and back. Good. So a little bit of strength work really, because we're using, if you're pulling the muscles in your belly in, we're using core, the muscles in your bottom, the glutes, the thighs, the quads, etc., hamstrings. So really going side to side, lifting and shifting, and come to the front third of your chair. Okay, and then I want you to lean back. So you've got a bit of a rest there. Okay, so you can hold on to your chair or just have your hands on your legs, and I just want you to straighten one leg with your toes pointed and then drop it down. Swap legs, point your toes, straighten your leg, drop it down. Point the toes, straighten the leg, and you can do this in your chair. What have you been watching on the telly? Line of Duty, I haven't got into it yet. Oh, is there a break? Anyway, whatever you watch, in the break, do this. I know you want to. Okay, we're going to change it up. We're going to flex the foot this time and straighten the leg. So that might feel harder. And this is called leg extension, but actually it's a straight leg raise as well. So you're extending your leg and adding a lift. So lift that leg. I can't see most of your legs, so I don't know if you're cheating. So make sure you're doing it. So lift a little bit, straighten, lift, bend, drop, straight. So it doesn't have to be strenuous, but we're just working the muscle continuously, and it might start to get a bit shaky, and it might get a little bit, you know that it's working. That's fine. And rest. And then I'm going to sit up. So I'm going to walk, hip walk back in my chair. Take your feet wide. Okay. I'm going to take our arms out. Guess what's coming? Your favourite one for not doing your homework. This is really good for your shoulders. You're holding your own body weight up. Just small, slow circles. Peter, if you need to do one arm there, or both arms. Anybody, if you need to drop your arms down because you've got a dodgy shoulder, that's fine. We're working through the shoulder. Okay, reverse direction. So sending the arms forwards. Small, slow. Try and sit up, lift through the chest, relax the shoulders down. Okay, and then we're going to pump forwards. Palms to me, pump forwards. So nice straight arms. Squeeze at the back, squeeze, push. Okay, the worst one, thumbs down. I can't do it one side properly. I'm going to drop one side because that's my dodgy arm. I can do it lower. So push, 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 rest those arms in. That's lovely, isn't it? Said nobody ever. So we're going to do it again. Adapt it if you need to. So as you saw, so this is my sore side, so I have to take that arm down. It's fine. I'm still working it, but I'm going within my abilities. So a little circle. And I'm finding that as I'm doing it, I can get it a little bit higher. So that's good. Little circles, small, slow, reverse direction, forwards. Can you feel it yet? Okay, thumbs up, pump, forwards and back. You're right, Caroline. Have a rest if you need to. You're right, Colette. It's evil, this one. It's really good for you. Thumbs down, push, squeeze. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your arms, if you can. This is where we go like a T-Rex because you can't move your arms. Give them a little pat. Lovely. Hold the back of your chair, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Breathe. Okay, a little bit more arms. I'm going to take one arm out. One arm, so the elbow's up, okay? So your elbows are in line. Swap. One hand to the shoulder, that's it. Cross. That's it. So you can see my hands coming up over my shoulder. That's it. So if your palm's facing up, you're kind of bringing your hand in towards your face and the other one goes away. That's it. It's a bit of brain gym as well. Okay, now you're going to change the arms and do it forwards. So arms are more forwards, shoulders are relaxed. Lovely. And then we're going to drop down. So under, rest. Imagine you've got a big beach ball and somebody's pumping it up. It's getting bigger and bigger and your arms are getting bigger and bigger, wider, further apart. Drop your chin. Send those arms really out as far as they can go, and then come up. Hands into your back again. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lovely. And then we're going to come into Tai Chi and then relaxation. Yay. So I'm going to stand for Tai Chi. You can sit. I know you've done a lot in standing today, so don't feel that you have to stand, but I'm going to stand because I know some of you like to stand. So seated, feet wide, in standing, feet wide. So we're just going to wrap our arms one side and then the other. So let your hands hang heavy. Just heavy, wrap them around. So there's no tension in your shoulders. Your hands are just heavy, your arms are heavy. Your knees are slightly bent. And we're going to go for 2 wraps. So 1, 2, and then we come into that chi ball, block. Okay, 2 wraps, 2, chi ball, and block, hold. 2 wraps, 2, chi ball, and block. Lovely. Wrap, wrap, chi ball, and block. Wrap, wrap, chi ball, and block. We're going to change now. Make a circle, bend the knees. Hands come in front, draw down. Breathe in, pull in, and push away. Breathe out. Circle. Down. Make a fist, pull in, push away. 2 more. Draw down. Make a fist, pull in, push away. 1 more, I think. Circle. Draw down. Make a fist, pull in, push. Okay, this time we scoop energy. Lift, lift, lift to one side. Drop down, down, down to the center. Lift, 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 and lift. So for count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Center, lift, 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 and down, 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 and we wrap. So wrap, chi ball, side and block. Wrap, wrap, chi ball, block. Wrap, wrap, chi ball and block. Wrap, wrap, chi ball. Okay, this time we breathe in, lift. Breathe out, push down. Breathe in, lift. Push down. So match your breath and breathe in. And then we float the arms one at a time, opposites. Float and float. Float and float. Float and float. Last two. Float and float. Okay, both arms push up to the diagonals. Push and reach. Bend, hinge from the hips, send the hands back, push away. Breathe. Come up, hands push up if you want to, onto your tiptoes. Squeeze the thighs together to create that stability. Bend from the hip, so it's a hinge from the hip. My spine is long. My shoulder blades squeeze together and come up. Rest in your chair. Sit down, grab a drink, ready for relaxation. Mindfulness, mind evator. Well done. Fabulous. Okay, so just make yourselves comfortable on your chair or your sofa. Can you just turn the music down a little bit, please, Owen? Thank you. And just breathe. Close your eyes if you can. If you don't like closing your eyes, then just look down your nose at the point on the floor. So you've got nothing to distract you. Settle in your chair. And just breathe. Take some long, slow breaths in through your nose and out through the mouth. Really deep down into your belly. So your belly is rising, swelling on that breath in. And on the breath out, it falls, relaxes. And we're not worrying about your posture. We just want you to relax your body, settle with your breath, and just take a few moments to be calm. Allow your body to recover. So just feeling the tension slip away as we work down the body. So from the scalp, the crown of the head, almost melting down the body, the temples, the brows and the eyelids, just relaxing, taking the tension away. The cheekbones, the teeth separate. The jaw relaxes. And resting the tongue gently on the roof of the mouth. Relaxing those muscles in the neck. If you need to, sometimes it helps to take your head side to side and then settle in the centre. If you need to just shrug your shoulders and relax them backwards, then do that too. Relax the shoulders, the shoulder blades and the chest. Allow the hands to just rest on the lap with the fingers just resting gently. Relax the muscles in the thighs, the bottom, the backs of the thighs. Relax the kneecaps, the calves, the ankles and the toes. And come back to your breath. And just be aware of that breath. How does it feel? Can you hear your breath? Can you feel your breath? Be aware of that breath, how it makes your body move, how it makes your ribs move to the front, to the side, and maybe to the back. Feel the temperature of the breath. Does it feel warmer as you exhale and your body's been able to warm it? Feel that breath in the back of the throat. Almost like a snore, can really help you to relax. And then think about that breath giving you energy, which is going to last you throughout the whole of the day. So taking a couple of deep breaths as we waken our bodies up. Maybe a sigh out. Sitting up a little bit more upright. Maybe stretching through the fingers. Having a yawn. Opening your eyes. Getting ready for the rest of the day. Congratulating yourself on a job well done. So well done to everybody. I think I'm just about to sneeze, so I think I've done very well not sneezing so far. So thanks for joining us if you're online. Thank you to my Zoom class. And we'll be